Hi, I'm Dr. Water. I'm a doctor, the kind who keeps working adults healthy, occupational, and preventive medicine. In power battle stories, you see this a lot. A strong character calmly takes poison and says, "This won't work on me." Or a poison user slowly acclimates their own body until they're a master of it. Fans ask me, can you actually build tolerance to poison in real life? So today, not as a review of the series, but as a story about your body, I'll check the math against real toxicology. The short version up front: tolerance to poison is real for some types, up to a point. But behind the calm face, something is definitely breaking inside. I'm not here to judge the series. I'm here to ask, if a human body did this, what would really happen? And back every medical claim with a paper. And, since this is about poison, I write no specific lethal doses, acquisition, or use. This part, unlike the story, has real, irreversible stakes. When you're poisoned, what's happening inside? Your HP isn't dropping. First, the setup. In these battles, an ability weakens the opponent with poison, slow-acting, contact spreading, all kinds. It's drawn like HP going down, but real poison comes to break a much more specific place. What poisons do splits roughly in two? One is neurotoxins, the type that jams nerve transmission. The other is cytotoxins, the type that directly injures the cells themselves. That's the basic toxicology split. The specific mechanisms are checked against real papers from the next paragraph. A representative neurotoxin is organophosphate compounds. These stick to the enzyme, acetylcholinesterase, that breaks down the nerve's messenger, acetylcholine, and stop it working. The messenger then piles up in excess, pinpoint pupils, uncontrollable drooling and sweating, seizures, and in severe cases suppressed breathing. And the nasty part, the way the enzyme is stopped is a firm binding type, and over time an aging phenomenon makes it harder to reverse. So the sooner you act, the more likely you survive, a race against time. The slow-acting staging isn't far off, toxicologically. There's a real-time limit between it starts working and you can still reverse it. Takeaway: poison doesn't shave your stamina. It breaks a specific switch. So the response has a deadline, too. If something feels wrong, don't wait and watch, act early. That's the real rule. How far does the body's detox go? The star is your liver, working right now. So is being poisoned the end? Not quite. The body has a department that processes toxins by design. The star is the liver. Most foreign substances that enter, poison, or drug undergo a two-stage process in the liver. Phase 1, oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, modifies the molecule. Phase 2, attaching a water-soluble group, finishes it, and finally the kidneys dump it out as urine. That flow is the substance of detox. The star of Phase 1 is an enzyme group called cytochrome P450, CYP. Dozens of types in humans, involved in most reactions processing foreign substances, an in-body, all-purpose detox plant. So a poison user in the story saying, "I have detox ability," isn't nonsense. You, too, are detoxing right this moment, in your liver. You're just not shouting a technique name. Takeaway: detox isn't a superpower, it's the liver's daily job. Which is why not overworking that plant, liver, kidneys, day to day. For example, not drinking heavily on repeat is itself real detox capacity maintenance. Metabolized equals safe is not true. Straight-faced here. An easy misconception, said straight-faced. People assume metabolized in the liver equals detoxified, but that isn't necessarily right. A clear example is arsenic. Arsenic is methylated in the liver and excreted in urine. But an intermediate metabolite formed along the way, a trivalent methylated form, can be more toxic than the original inorganic arsenic. In other words, in the very process of trying to detox, the body can temporarily make a more dangerous substance. Metabolism is not equal to safety. And the efficiency of this processing has large individual variation. How well someone methylates arsenic varies by species and population, and by genetic constitution and nutritional status, folate and such metabolism. What does that mean? Stories have a "he was fine, though" moment, and in reality, too, strength against the same poison differs between people. And someone who looks fine hasn't necessarily succeeded at neutralizing it inside. They may be midway through making the dangerous intermediate. Takeaway: that person was fine, so I'll be too, is the worst idea there is with poison. Processing capacity differs between people, and mid-processing is sometimes the most dangerous. Copying it bets your life on a constitutional lottery. Can you acclimate and build tolerance to poison? The truth of Mithridatism. This is the main event. The classic poison user setup. Take a little poison at a time, acclimate the body, and eventually become a master. It has a historical name. Mithridatism, building tolerance by dosing small amounts, from the legend of an ancient king who practiced it against assassination. So, in reality, partly it happens, but it's not omnipotent. That's the honest answer. The body has the detox plant from Q2, liver enzymes, and repeated exposure to certain substances can add staph to the processing enzyme, so metabolism speeds up enzyme induction. CYP-type metabolic enzymes really are increased by exposure to specific substances known in humans. That far is true. But what you gain is a limited adaptation to a specific substance. The induction is selective per substance. You don't obtain a universal immunity that works uniformly against every poison. And the biggest pitfall, tolerance is not equal to becoming safe. Metabolism speeding up can make you notice fewer symptoms, but that's just the body getting used to it, not proof the poison was neutralized. I'll say this as reasoning from the mechanisms above, not from one definitive experiment. When the alarm of pain or nausea stops ringing, it doesn't mean the fire went out. Handle used to it and safe as separate things. The story's poison master genuinely borrows part of real tolerance. But the real version isn't cool. The more used to it you are, the more the danger signal dulls, and by the time you notice, you're deeply broken. The more of a master you become, the less you can see your own limit. That's the scariest thing about real poison tolerance. Takeaway: I'm used to it, so I'm fine, may just be that you switched off the body's alarm. The alarm not ringing and the fire being out are entirely different things. If poisoning really happens, the real first response. One thing from outside the story, at the end, just in case you ever face, I may have ingested a poison or drug in real life. The first response to acute poisoning is, before any flashy antidote, whole body management first. Protect the airway, breathing, and circulation, the ABCD check, as the top priority. On that basis, as needed, decontamination, activated charcoal, etc., enhanced elimination, hemodialysis, etc., and specific antidotes, one matched to the agent, like naloxone for opioids, are used. For something like organophosphate poisoning, if the cause is identified, there's a path to treatment, such as atropine. What I want you to remember is the order. Don't make someone vomit on amateur judgment, or give them something strange. First, consult the experts and get seen. That's the real answer. Takeaway: the correct first move in a poison problem isn't an antidote or a self-taught first aid trick. It's contact the expert line. Just knowing the number lets you use the panicked minutes correctly. You can't become a poison-proof superhuman in reality. Precisely. You can acclimate to some poisons, but acclimating is a switching off the alarm, not putting out the fire. Behind the calm face, the body quietly breaks. Meanwhile, your liver is detoxing today, too. No technique name, no effects. So the way to be strongest against poison in reality isn't to acclimate. It's to care for that detox plant. And, when it counts, not to gut it out your own way, but to call the expert line. Plain, but it genuinely works. Manga is a doorway into how strange the human body is. And the real body is far more interesting than you'd guess. See you at the next checkup. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Water. Subscribe for the next body check, and I'll see you at the next appointment.